I'm the voice of Florida Atlantic, Ken LaVicka, and it is my honor, it is my pleasure to welcome you here today as we welcome in the 7th head football coach all time at Florida Atlantic, Zach Kittley. Welcome to all fans, welcome to all media, trustees, distinguished guests, and a special hello to everybody watching right now live, nationwide and worldwide at ESPN+. Before we hear from the president of this institution, Stacy Volnick, and our director of athletics, Brian White, and of course Coach Kitley, a very special welcome to the entire Kitley family. Welcome to Boca Raton. It is an honor to have you here. Coach Kitley's wife, Emily, 3 adorable children, Knox, Ford, and Rhodes, and of course, Coach's mother and father, Wes and Linda. So thank you and welcome on behalf of everybody at Florida Atlantic. Coach Kitley comes in 33 years old. As of today, he's the youngest coach in all of FBS college football. So that is certainly notable, but he has experienced well beyond his years, and he has left an imprint everywhere he has been with that offense, both at the FCS level and the FBS level. He cut his coaching chops at Texas Tech under Cliff Kingsbury and worked with a guy named Patrick Mahomes. Pretty strong. Then went on to Houston Baptist, now known as Houston Christian, and in 2019, the second most passing yards in all of FCS, and started to work with a young quarterback named Bailey Zappi. That name would be heard several times throughout the course of the next couple of years. In 2020, shortened COVID season, it was Houston Baptist going to Texas Tech, ironically, and Coach Kitley and Bailey Zappi throwing up 567 yards against Texas Tech and 4 touchdowns. That still is the best FCS quarterback performance against an FBS opponent in the history of college football. Then, in 2021, it was off to Western Kentucky for Coach Kitley as the offensive coordinator, and that quarterback, Bailey Zappi, went with them. The #1 passing offense in all of college football, and Bailey Zappi and Coach Kitley combining for the most single passing yards in a season in college football history, and the most touchdown passes. That record was set single year right across the way, Howard Stellenberger Field at FAU Stadium in the 2021 Boca Raton Bowl. So the man's already won on this field and won big as well. But that's not it. He took his talents to Lubbock, Texas, going back home, Texas Tech, and boy, has he had nothing but success with the Red Raiders. Dealt with quarterback injuries his first 2 seasons. That's all right. Hey, Taj Brooks, you carry the rock. Back-to-back seasons, 1,500 rushing yards at Texas Tech, and we haven't even gotten to the passing game yet. This air raid attack, which this season, top 10 offense in the country, top 10 passing offense, top 10 scoring offense, all at Texas Tech for the #1 offense in the Big 12, and that is what Zach Kittley is bringing to Florida Atlantic as the new head coach of this program. So, without any further ado, and we'll hear from Coach Kitley, we'll hear from Brian White, it is my honor, it is my privilege to welcome to this stage the president of Florida Atlantic University, Stacy Volnick.
Good afternoon, and thank you for joining us here today. I know you all share our commitment to athletic excellence, which is critical to the upward trajectory of this university. Our success on the courts and on the fields continues to propel Florida Atlantic into the national spotlight. And that light has shined on everything else that we do, including academics, research, community engagement, and more. So thank you for your support of Florida Atlantic Athletics, and it's greatly appreciated. Give yourselves a round of applause. Today, we are here to officially welcome our new Haggerty family head coach, Zach Kittley. But first, I want to acknowledge the efforts of our Vice President and Director of Athletics, Brian White, in bringing in Coach Kitley to Florida Atlantic. It was a pleasure working alongside him in the process. Give Brian a round of applause. Brian continues to lead our athletics program with the mantra, win it right. And when I met Zach, I knew he would be a good fit to the culture that we have created here. During our first conversation, he described himself as a chill person. Zach, coach, this is our first disagreement. When I saw you, you are more like Brian and I. You are a type A, quadruple plus personality. You are anything but chill. You are driven, you are focused on details, you value character, and you know what you want to build here. And most of all, he is going to give our student athletes a path to success. Zach's passion and excitement for the potential at Florida Atlantic is contagious. I already like what I'm hearing about him working to fill the stands at the FAU Stadium and winning championships. And with Zach's track record of excellence, including multiple top 25 ranked defenses and a Boca Bowl win here at FAU Stadium in 21, it's hard not to be excited about the future of Florida Atlantic football. From ESPN's Reese Davis to three-time Super Bowl MVP Patrick Mahomes, Zach has no shortage of fans in the world of college and professional football. And I am confident that our community will quickly embrace you as well. Texas Test loss is our game, and I extend a warm welcome to Zach, his wife Emily, and their children, Knox, Ford, and Rhodes. Florida Atlantic is all about family, and I am so happy to welcome you into ours. Welcome to Paradise, Kitley family, and go Owls!
Thank you, President Volnick. Appreciate it. And for President Volnick and myself, this is the proper mic height when Coach Kitley comes up here. It's going to be almost vertical at that point. Coach, this is a big deal. I can't tell you, it takes a lot for me to wear a tie to a special event. This is a special event, so welcome. And also, I mentioned that Coach is 33 years old. This is the first time in my 17 years that a football coach or a basketball coach will be younger than me. You cleared me by a whole 7 years, so I'm now in broadcasting AARP, so I appreciate that. Thank you, Coach. I typically, or if you're in this spot, when you're at an event like this, you have notes and you go down the line and you make sure you mention everything. The man I'm about to introduce will then introduce us to Haggerty family head coach Zach Kittley. I don't need any notes. I've known him for a very long time, and he has done a phenomenal job as the head of Florida Atlantic Athletics, and I'm talking about Brian White. And I told him this is not mandated in my contract with Florida Atlantic that I speak of him like this in a public setting in this manner, but he has a desperate desire to win. He wants to do it the right way, but he wants to win at Florida Atlantic. Status quo is not acceptable in any way, shape, or form. There is one finality to everything he does and decisions he makes, and that is to hoist a trophy in the air, and that is why we are here today to meet a brand new head football coach. So Brian, thank you so much for everything you've done for Florida Atlantic, and a round of applause for Brian if we could. Before we bring Brian up here, I see Beverly Schnellenberger sitting in the front row. Can we hear it for Beverly Schnellenberger as well? It's funny, Bev, I was thinking about it today. Your husband, Howard, the father of this program, the man who conceived this, and that field is named after him right across the way. He had a thing for big quarterbacks who can sling the ball all over the yard, didn't he? He'd be pretty happy with the head coach we're about to introduce in just a couple of moments. Let's get to that point now. Let me introduce here at the Schmidt Family Center the Vice President and Director of Athletics at Florida Atlantic, Brian White.
First of all, thank you all for being here today. What an exciting day for Florida Atlantic. I'm really excited to be talking with all of you. But some key thank yous first. I want to thank President Volnick and Chair Busani. Our board chair and president have had an unwavering support of athletics, and absolutely nothing would be possible without that support. So thank you both. Round of applause for both. I also want to thank our entire board of trustees, our foundation board, all of our donors, fans, those in the community. We've had incredible support here across the board, and I'm just so grateful for all of you, so thank you. That being said, Zach, Kitley family, Emily, Knox, Ford, Rose, I want to thank you all and welcome you to Paradise. Round of applause for the Kitley family. So as we sit here in the Schmidt Family Complex for Academic and Athletic Excellence, I'd be remiss if I didn't point out the Schmidt family and all they've done for not only FAU athletics, but this university and this community. So I want to thank the Schmidt family. And there's not enough time to thank everybody and to list everybody, but just some key people. Also want to thank, as I announced, the Haggerty family head football coach, single out the Haggerty family as well for all they've done, again, for not just this athletics department, but this university and this community. The generosity in this community is just so incredible. So maybe how about a round of applause for all of our donors, the Schmidts and Haggertys. The next group that I think is critical to thank is our football founders. Howard Schnellenberger had a dream of football in paradise, and he was able to inspire with the mindset of to believe is to be strong, the belief among many of our football founders. So I know we have some in this room. Thank you to all of our football founders, because again, we wouldn't be here today without you. And so how about a round of applause for our football founders? And probably most importantly, I want to recognize Beverly Schnellenberger. Thank you for being here today and at all of our games and being so supportive of everything FAU football, athletics, university, etc. So thank you all. Former players. I know we have some former players here. Would maybe stand up, or if you're standing up, raise your hands just for the former players to be recognized in the room. That was one thing that I think Coach Kitley really emphasized in the in-person interview that I thought was pretty inspirational about the importance of foreign players and bringing foreign players back. And I know we're very aligned on that. We want this place to feel like a program and not just a team. And we know those that have come before us have really paved the way for what we're able to build in the future. So we definitely want our former players to always feel welcome back and feel like family. The final group to thank is probably too big to name, but these searches, it really takes a village and it's all hands on deck approach. So I want to thank university staff, my staff, everybody that's been involved. It's been an arduous task, a fun one as well, but we've had a whole lot of people pitch in. So with that, a little bit about our process. These searches, they start and end with student athletes in my view. I think that's the most important thing is if I just decide that I know in my head the characteristics and traits that our next coach should have, and that's not aligned with our student athletes, I don't think that's the right way to do it. So the first group we met with was our student athletes, and I think as fans and alums, you would be highly impressed with the thoughtfulness and the intelligence of the feedback our student athletes gave us. I think it was really valuable, and it weighed heavy on us throughout the process as we're thinking about even who to talk to. And then once we decide who we're talking to, as we guide that conversation, the things that our student athletes, and it wasn't just one or two, it wasn't just a leadership group, it was a good majority of the team gave us really thoughtful feedback on the things they did want in their next head football coach, and maybe just as importantly, the things they didn't want. And so for us, Coach Kitley met that at every step and every turn. So that was very exciting and important for us. So as I mentioned, we conducted a national search. One thing that was of interest is, I probably got 1,000+ text messages. Some from people in this room. I apologize if I haven't responded yet. But you do your best. You do the best you can with getting back to people. But also the good news is the interest and the recommendations and the suggestions were from people in every different type of candidate you can imagine, and everyone we talked to, because we wanted to cast a wide net, we wanted to talk to a lot of people, but everyone we talked to had the same mindset about FAU, and it aligns with how we see ourselves. The coaching community nationally sees FAU how we see FAU, and that is we're stock on the rise. It's recognize the academic accomplishments of the university, how great we are as a university from a facilities perspective. This facility comes up, the stadium comes up, our great recruiting base comes up. Everybody was bullish on FAU. Thank you to the NIL donors in this room. The fact that we were competitive in NIL this past year, and we need that to continue, but thankfully, we have been competitive in every asset that it's going to take to build a program, and the coaches see that. And so I think that was a very encouraging sign. The next piece I'd say, obviously we did several rounds of interviews, and Coach Kitley rose to the top. So you might ask, why is that? What stood out about Coach Kitley? I think the first thing that was really important for all of us and our players was he really wanted to be here. He really believed in FAU. I mean, everybody believed in FAU, but it really stood out with him, the passion he had, not just to be a head coach, but to be a head coach at FAU. This job, he believes he can win championships here. And I think as you meet him, get to know him, you'll see that's very real. So that stood out to everybody on the committee and everybody he interacted with. That was number one. Number two, the last thing I ever want to do is compete with Kevin Victor, but he listed all the football stats that I have written down here in a way better way than I could ever do. But I do think it was important to know he's won at every level, and he's been a difference maker at every level. For him to be 26 years old and go call an offense at Houston Baptist, and all of a sudden that's one of the best offenses in college football, that's pretty darn impressive. And then go on to Western Kentucky and lead one of the best offenses in the history of college football, that's pretty darn impressive. That led the country in scoring, touchdowns, points, all the good things we want to see here. And then finally, the work at Texas Tech I thought was really important because a lot of people get offensive-minded coaches and high potent offenses gets almost a bad rap that they can be one-sided, that it's all passing. For us, it was great to see having a 1,500-yard running back each of the last 2 years makes me realize that for our players, and whatever they do well, he's going to help them be successful. And I love that for our players and our recruits. I think that was important. It's not just a niche system. It's whatever players can do, he's going to allow them to be successful. I thought that was critically important. The next piece, probably even more important than the above two, is who he is as a person. Highly authentic, high character, high integrity. Everybody we spoke to that has ever worked with him raves about him as a human being, on top of being a great football coach, and a great offensive mind. And all those things you can see when you Google him. But I think that came up time and time again. And then speaking with him through several rounds of interviews, I think we all felt like that was very real. So with all that being said, I would say that he was definitely our number one choice throughout. He was the only person offered the job. And with that, I couldn't be more excited to announce your next head football coach, Zach Kitley.
All right, let me see if I can get this microphone up tall enough here. I'm pretty loud. I may not even need this thing. We'll see how this goes. Before I get going, I'm going to apologize in advance if I get a little emotional up here. I'm extremely passionate about being a football coach and being able to lead young men. I'm going to be able to talk about a lot of people here, and I would not be here without the people that have surrounded me during my career. First off, I'm honored and humbled to have this first-class opportunity to be the head football coach here at Florida Atlantic. As Brian had kind of mentioned, this has been a place that has always caught my eye, and I've respected from afar for many, many years. There's been a lot of success and a lot of championships won here, and I know that's something that we can do here as well together. Emily and I, can't look at you, quit crying. Emily and I, along with my three boys, Knox, Ford, and Rhodes, we look so forward to being a part of this university, this community, and this city. And really excited to get to know everybody and bring the energy back to this football program. I would like to thank President Volnick, Athletic Director Brian White, the search committee, the Board of Trustees, Board Chairman Kira Busani, FAU Foundation. Again, my wife, Emily, you are everything to me. I love you. Coaches cannot do this without a wife. You know this, okay? And so she is absolutely everything to me. She's my rock. She keeps me humble. She keeps me on my toes. And I would not be here without her. It's been a great 7, almost 8 years, and we're going to make a lot more memories here. Love you. To my three boys, they don't really know it yet. But y'all are the reason why I do what I do, because I want you guys to see what it's like to be able to raise people up around you. And that's what coaches get to do. and you will figure that out as you get older. My mom and my dad are here. My dad's the greatest coach that I've ever been around, and it's not just because he's a champion coach, 31 national championships. It is because he has always done it the right way. He's a man of integrity. He has never done anything to advance his career in ways that would not be compliant. And he is the best human being that I've ever met. My mom doesn't get a lot of the credit, but she's probably the biggest supporter I've ever had. Love y'all. Thank y'all for being here. Sorry. I got 2 older brothers. Thank you. I got 2 older brothers that I grew up with, my heroes. My brother John and Chris and their families, continued support over the years. Again, I got 2 older brothers that I watched them grow up. I watched them be athletes. I wanted to be just like them. Still to this day, I love watching my brothers be husbands and fathers to their kids, my nieces and nephews. Really don't even have nephews now to say that, thinking about it. I do on the other side of my family. But John and Chris, y'all's families, thank y'all so much. Wouldn't be here without y'all either. My in-laws and the entire Macada family for your constant support since 2015, really, even before Emily and I got married. Pretty rare to have 3 best friends since 8 years old. I've had 3 best friends that have been in my corner through the ups and downs. And I feel really bad not saying thank you to Jordan Nichols, Stoney Allison, and Philip James back at home. Y'all are my guys, man. I appreciate y'all. Since I started coaching in 2013, there have been so many people, and it'd take me forever to dive through every one, but I have to point out a few people that have been with me throughout my career that I know for a fact I would not be here without right now. And I'd like to thank Sonny Cumby, Kenny Bell, Kevin Kilmer, Jason Reed, Eric Morris, the late Tommy McVeigh, Ben Arbuckle, Jared Castor, Kenny Perry, and then my 2 guys back home, Zane Perry and Cayman Ansel. I appreciate you guys. The next few people I'm going to dive in a little bit more, but these following men really changed my career, and again, would not be here without them. One of my high school coaches, the late Coach Don Black, put his arm around me as a young kid and showed me that it is okay for a coach to be emotional. It is okay for a coach to love a kid. It is okay for you to genuinely care about everything that they do. And Coach Don Black, a longtime coach who's no longer with us, was very instrumental in me growing up and wanting to be a coach because again, he taught me that it's okay to have emotion and to love players and to hug your players and to genuinely care about them. And that has stuck with me since I was a young man and continue to do that to this day. Coach Cliff Kingsbury, probably my number 1 football mentor, the greatest offensive mind of all time. You took over a program and you let a young kid who had never did not play college football, but you let a kid come into your program and be hands-on with the quarterbacks, and you allowed me to have success with coaching guys like Patrick Mahomes and let me be involved in an offensive prowess that is second to none. Coach Vic Shealy at Houston Baptist. I mean, wow. Well, I mean, you talk about a guy that took a chance on a 26-year-old kid that had never called a play in his life to come run a football program and run the offense at a Division I program. So would not be here without cutting my teeth at Houston Baptist, and Coach Shealy, I have you to thank for that. Coach Tyson Helton and his wife April Helton, you showed me what it's like to have a family within the football family. And what I mean by that is really having everybody in the community, everybody within the football complex, and their wives and their kids all be involved in football. Countless things off the field as well that Coach taught me, but his wife as well, April, was unbelievable to my wife and showed us what it's like to be a real football family and what it's going to take to be the first lady of Florida Atlantic football as well. And lastly here, Coach Joey McGuire and his wife Debbie as well. Coach McGuire gave me the opportunity to go back home and coach at my alma mater in my hometown in a place that I truly, deeply love. I had goals as a young coach, and when I left Texas Tech, one of my goals was to come back to Texas Tech and be the offensive coordinator there. That's second to where I'm at right now. And Coach McGuire gave me that opportunity. And again, kind of like April Helton did, Debbie McGuire was so instrumental in including wives and families and showing again that the football family is bigger than just the people down the hallway. I would like to thank all the players that I've had the pleasure of coaching during my time at Texas Tech, Houston Baptist, and Western Kentucky. As we all know, great players make good coaches, and without you guys, I absolutely would not be here. I took this job because I want to be here. I am honored to be your head football coach because I know that we're going to build a program here and we're going to go win AAC championships. Florida Atlantic University could not be in a better situation than it is right now. An all-time high in enrollment, climbing the ranks academically across the country. And we will continue to carry on that mission during my time here as head football coach. We have some of the best high school football right here in our backyard, and we're going to make sure we dominate South Florida in the recruiting trail. Most importantly, though, I took this job because of the players. The football players, the student athletes, they are the most important part of this football program. I've spent the last 3 days meeting with our current roster, one-on-one meetings, getting to know our young men. And I can tell you this, our young men in this football program are men of integrity. They're here for the right reasons. They love this university, and they're excited to be here. After meeting with those guys, I can tell you that I'm 100% in the right place to lead these young men. And the players will be the heartbeat of our program, and we will consistently focus on a family atmosphere around them. Again, because the players are the most important part of the program, I know I have to hire a great staff to lead the charge for those guys. Some of my staff are here with me today, and we'll have more coming in the coming weeks. But here's what I want to say about that. I'm bringing in people that share my excitement to be at Florida Atlantic. I'm bringing in people that want to lead young men with class and integrity and doing things the right way. But more than a great football coach, I want to bring in great human beings. It starts with great people and ends with great people. If we bring in great people that can lead young men, they're going to follow us in the direction we're going to go, and our football program is going to skyrocket through the roof here. At Florida Atlantic, we're going to have relentless work ethic. We're going to compete in everything that we do, and we will have a lot of fun while we do it. We want to build more onto the impressive foundation that's already been here in its short tenure of football. But man, there has been a lot of success in this football program, and we've got to bring that success back and bring championships back to Florida Atlantic. That will be my charge every single day. The championship mindset will walk into this building every single day, and that will bleed throughout the football program and in this community. I'm about to bring an exciting offense here back to FAU. Okay, it's going to be a lot of excitement. We're going to light up the scoreboard. We're going to run it up on people. Okay. A lot of air raid, things going on right there, right? Well, let me tell you this. We're going to be able to run the football. Brian hit on it, and I'm so glad he did. At the end of the day, it's about winning football games. I've been a part of a lot of games where I've lost games 55-52. We don't want to do that around here. I'd rather win a game 10-14 if I have to, right? Go win a football game, and that's what it's about. So we're going to make sure, offensively, we're going to go put the points on the board, but when we've got leads in games and stuff like that, we're going to run the football. We're going to make sure we can get out of there. Again, it's all about putting our players in positions to be successful. And when we get in here, we get through spring practice, we're going to know what our guys can do, and we're going to go attack to their strengths. We're going to play defense here as well. We're going to hit you in the mouth on defense. We're going to fly around. We will hit the quarterback. We will take the ball away. That's going to be the MO of our defense. You're going to be able to tell the kind of culture we have in here by watching our defensive guys fly around the field, swarm to the football, and have 11 guys attacking that football on every single play. And we can't forget about special teams, okay? Special teams is a third of the game. We will play special teams here. We're going to affect the game on special teams. We're going to be aggressive on special teams, and our best football players will play special teams here at FAU. We're going to have an authentic love for football and promote a positive environment constantly in this football program. We want all of you, all of Florida Atlantic community, all of Boca Raton, to be involved in what we're trying to do here. Y'all are going to be a key part of the success that we have during our tenure here. We're going to have an exciting, physical brand of football that our fans will enjoy watching. We want FAU Stadium to be one of the toughest places to play every Saturday night. I'm very much looking forward to getting to know the OWL fan base, and I assure you that our goal is to make you proud by the product that we put on the field on Saturdays. With that being said, we need you guys to fill up the stadium. Okay? We need your support on Saturday nights. I will be out in the community. You're going to see my face. You guys come help us out on Saturdays and give these student athletes what they deserve. A fan base that'll be behind them and give us some home field advantage here on Saturdays. Florida Atlantic is a major part of South Florida, and I'm honored to be here as your head football coach. My family and I, again, are so excited to join this area and to raise our 3 boys in this community. Not just because of all the good things I've mentioned in the speech, but because of the people that are here. Again, I've been here for 72 hours, but that's my favorite part. Such real people here that want to get involved, want to be a part of the program, want to see us succeed. And that's what's going to help build this program up to where I know it's going to go. The support my players, my family, and my staff have already received brings me so much joy. We are ready to build a program here that makes you proud and continue the tradition of winning in paradise. Go Owls!